It feels like every month there's a new viral tweet that makes essentially the same point. Men are trash. It may be repackaged and worded a bit differently each time, but still it makes pretty much the same point. Again, men are trash. I went from hating these tweets to being like, maybe these tweets kind of sort of do have a point. A lot of men in this world are indeed trash. And then I went right back to hating it for an entirely different set of reasons. The first time around was, oh, it's just these feminists showing that they're sexist against men again. And the second time around, I thought, these kind of posts actually are pretty harmful to feminism because these are just ammo for reactionaries to continue to discredit feminism and continue to spread around anti-feminist rhetoric. And while I still do believe that these posts are a net negative when it comes to the perception of feminism, I began to think a little bit. Why is it that some women feel the need to post this onto social media? Perhaps life experience comes to play. Maybe they just came out of an abusive relationship with a man, and this is their way of venting out negative emotions surrounding said relationship. There are many, many, many different valid factors that come into play when it comes to the motivation behind posts like these. We don't know the life story behind the person that made that men are trash tweet that made your blood boil oh so much. For all we know, a traumatic experience could have been the motivation behind that post being created in the first place. And you, a man, typing up your angry, sexist reply under said tweet could be exhibiting the exact character traits that the person behind their traumatic experience had. I feel like if I get super offended over the existence of posts like these, I'm probably part of the group of people that these posts target. Not necessarily all men in general, but just a group of people that expect a woman to see the world through a man's point of view, always having to take the feelings and egos of a man into account before their own, always having to cater to the needs and interests of a man before they focus on their own needs and interests. Because every time I come across one of these posts and dare go into the reply section, I always see the same sexist trash, people that are all in favor of upholding patriarchal norms and viewing women as lesser and viewing women as just people that need to cater to the needs of man. It's really funny. They combat perceived sexism with sexism. Go figure. But regardless of how you feel about posts like these, it's rather entertaining to see people like this get angry over posts like these because these are the same exact people who are direct opponents to women's liberation in this world. They're all in favor of maintaining outdated gender norms like women have to be housewives and take care of their children, and that's the beginning and end of their role in society. And then when women dare push back and say, you know what, men like you actually are fucking trash. Who gives you the authority to say what I can and can't do with my life? And on top of that, who gives you the authority to say what all women can and can't do with their lives? And then they just get so fucking flabbergasted. Like, what other response did you expect, my dude? We live in a point in time where in many places in this world, the notion of women having to be the subservient ones in society is becoming increasingly unpopular, and perhaps the motivation behind some of these men are trash posts is that it's a direct response to people like you, the people who believe women have to be subservient, the people who believe women have to live under the boot of a man. Did you really expect women to lie down and say, yeah, we know you people hate us a lot, and if you assumed any sort of power, you'd strip our rights away in a fucking heartbeat, but still, we'll be nice and subservient and not say anything nasty to you back because you're a man. Unfortunately, the world doesn't work that way anymore, and unfortunately, women don't have to kiss your feet anymore and kowtow to how you feel anymore. Maybe don't be sexist as fuck and constantly post about how women are lesser than you, and maybe, just maybe, you won't have anything nasty said to you back, and if this sentiment dies off, maybe, just maybe, there won't be any more men or trash tweets anymore. I think a lot of these posts are coming from people who are just getting introduced to feminist ideology. I was kind of like this too when I was first getting myself acquainted with leftism and properly getting myself acquainted with feminism. I was really hardcore anti-patriarchy and being like, yeah, fuck men. Men for centuries on end have been the oppressors. And then I realized, oh yeah, I'm a man too. And then I realized that these posts are probably not targeting all men, but rather the toxically masculine ones. And of course, the ones I described earlier, the hardcore sexist ones that view women as lesser and want them to just shut up and be subservient. Perhaps these posts are just poorly worded, or maybe it's just because all toxically masculine sexist men that want to uphold the patriarchy are trash. is not exactly as catchy as just simply saying all men are trash. And like I said earlier, I am not a fan of this saying because it is just ammo for reactionaries to further harm the perception of feminism to outsiders and be like, see, feminists are sexist against men. Look at these posts and look at all the likes it has. But I just wish this would spark actual discussion. Why do you feel this way? Why do you say all men are trash? Is this inspired by a traumatic event? Maybe you were in an abusive relationship with a man? You know, there are a myriad of different valid reasons why one would say this, and I do wish it would also spark self-reflection. Why am I getting so offended by this? Maybe I possess the exact character traits that would lead a woman to say all men are trash, and perhaps a lot of men possess the exact same character traits that again would lead a woman to say all men are trash. But no, self-reflection goes out the fucking window, and it's just go straight to the replies and type up some sexist scree about women because, yeah, I'm totally making a case for myself. I'm totally not proving their point at all. I'm totally making it seem like all men are not trash by, again, insulting this woman and basically exhibiting the exact character traits that probably led her to post this in the first place. I'm not saying that these posts can't be criticized, or at least criticized in the sense that they help certain men feel validated in their bigotry against women, but rather I just wish they were understood a bit more. And the first instinct isn't to go straight to the replies and ridicule them in possibly the same fashion a man ridiculed them in their real life, because behavior like that is possibly a big motivating factor when it comes to these kind of posts being created in the first place, and the reason they get so many likes in the first place. Because many men in this world possess very toxic character traits that, quite frankly, a lot of women are getting sick of, and your mad as hell reply under their men are trash tweet is just further proving them right. You get my point? I'm sure you do. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.